Hello, and welcome back to Weston the Historian. Today I'm not really talking about any real history, but I wanted to talk about this one time that at school I decided I was going to give a speech on a balcony. So basically, it all started, so this was my freshman year, this was literally last year. I wanted to run for class president, student council and stuff. I went around, I did all the forms and everything. I did everything that needed to be done. And I was like confident. Like a lot of people were telling me, oh yeah, I'm going to vote for you. I heard a lot of people saying that. I had people making like preparing posters. I started making my own posters. I genuinely was like, yep, without a doubt, I'm going to win. I'm going to be class president of the sophomores, whatever. I was confident. And then after the due date, after everything, was turned in, after you couldn't turn anything else in, my friend Noah, he texts me. He's like, Weston, they're not letting you run. And I was like, what do you mean they're not letting me run? And I remember it was on a Wednesday. I remember this because I was wearing, it was a West African Wednesday. My first thought was, how can they betray me on a West African Wednesday? This is literally my day. And, I thought to myself, what is going on? So I went over, I'm not going to say any names because this is, a school and I don't want y'all finding out information or harassing anyone. I don't know how it works. Anyway, I go to find the teacher that owned the student council or whatever. And I was like, hey, what's going on? And she said that I didn't turn in the online form, which is not true. Okay. I remember actually turning it in. Maybe it was in a dream or something, but I remember turning it in. And that's all that matters. And she had all the other forms, so it doesn't really matter. Does it really matter? I don't think it does. Besides, I didn't really, whatever. All the online forms I forgot maybe or something. I don't know what happened. But for some reason, she didn't have my online form. So, I was like, well, that sucks. Do you know what I'm going to do? And that same night, I wrote a speech about why they should let me run anyway. Well, at first it was going to be why they should let me run anyway. But then I decided, you know what? No. I'm going to create my own government. I'm going to create my own government. And that is exactly what I did. So, I wrote this whole speech out. In front of me is a whole speech. There's a lot of videos out there of me giving the speech and a lot of photos. I'm not going to show any of the videos because you can see the name of the school in the video, and I don't want anything. I don't know what would happen, but I don't know. Just in case I shouldn't say my school's name on the internet, I'm not going to. And I'm not going to show the clips, but I will read out the speech in a moment. So it happened that same night, Wednesday night. I wrote the speech. The next day, I prepared for it. I printed the speech out. I put on a suit-ish. I had a blazer and formal-ish pants. It wasn't that great of a fit. But anyway, I put on my formal-ish clothing and I prepared for my speech. And Thursday, I was like, all right, during lunch, 11:50, I'm giving a speech. And I remember that day, I remember exactly what happened. I was going through the whole day. People were kind of like, is he really going to do it? There's no way he's really going to do it. And I remember 11:40, I said that I was going to do it. There's this right stairway, and up there, there's a balcony kind of, and it overlooks the entire school. Everyone can see it. And I was like, all right, on that balcony, I'm going to give the speech. And I had people, they were like, I don't think he's going to do it. 11:40, I start heading up the stairs. I look over, and I see a friend of mine. She's looking straight at me, and I can see in her eyes the sudden realization, I'm really going to do it. I'm really going to give the speech. I can see it in her eyes. She knows what I'm about to do. And I go up to the stairs and I sit there. I just kind of sit behind the balcony so no one can see me. And I just sit there and I wait. And one of my friends, he comes up with me and we start talking. I start kind of getting stressed out because I'm like, dang, is anyone even going to like show up? 11:45, I'm still there. I'm still just kind of waiting there. Waiting. I wasn't really rehearsing. I kind of looked at the speech and I was like, I'm just going to wing it. I didn't have a microphone, which is probably not a good idea. The thing is, I expected maybe people would hear me even without a microphone. No one heard me, but it was fine. I was like, all right, well, no one's going to show up, but it's fine. So 11:45, I'm still waiting. Then 11:48 rolls around, and I'm like, that friend of mine, she texts me, she's like, people are here. They are wanting you. They want you to give the speech. They know it's going to happen. And I'm like, what? People are here? And then 11:49, before I'm even supposed to go, I hear people yelling my name. And I'm like amazed. I'm like, what is happening? And I walk up. Before it's even 11:50, I walk up. I'm like, it's begun. I go up to the balcony and I look over. I've got my speech in my hands. And I look over and I see like the entire school. See all the freshmen, a bunch of sophomores. I'm like, oh, people actually showed up? Huh. And I looked in the crowd. I even saw juniors and seniors. I was like, that's amazing. Okay. It was like half the school. It was kind of crazy. But I pulled out my speech and I started speaking. No one heard me, but it's fine. I didn't have a microphone, but it's fine. And I was looking out into the crowd as I gave the speech. I looked in and I saw all these teachers. They had no idea what to do. I could just see it in their eyes. They had no idea what was going on. They had no idea what to do. All these teachers, they were on their walkie-talkies like, what's going on? And like, I look over and they have absolutely no idea what's going on. I keep going. No one knows what I'm saying, but people are finding it absolutely hilarious. And by the end of it, I look over and I see a bunch of my friends, and they're all like, yo, make the school name great again. And I was like, I did, it was funny. And I start walking away. Then a friend of mine, one of the principals, who was like 7 feet tall, he like escorts me away. He's like, come over here. And then I see one of my friends literally gets in between me and him. And he's like being my bodyguard. I have bodyguards now. After that speech, I had bodyguards. I had a team of bodyguards on the football team and the wrestling team. But he's like taking me away. He's like, you realize you've just disturbed a public area. And my friend goes, freedom of speech, man. And you have no idea how much respect I had for that man when he said that. Freedom of speech. Yes, sir. Bill of Rights, Constitution. You know what I'm saying? This is what the president is supposed to protect. That's my job. And then he's like taking me downstairs and he takes me to the principal himself of the whole school. And he's like, kind of like, so what's going on here? I was talking to the teacher and she said you didn't turn in your online forms. I was like, I turned them in. I don't know what's going on. I turned them in. And he was like, all right. So is this like a one-day thing? And I was like, oh yeah, you gotcha. And then he just let me go. Didn't get in trouble. Nothing happened to me. And then he just kind of let me go. And we had a casual conversation. I'm pretty sure he was like talking to me about being in band or something. It was a very casual conversation. He let me go and I started talking to people and they're like, Weston, that was insane. I didn't think you were actually going to do it. And then I was like, yeah, I didn't think I was really going to do it either. But I did do it, and that's a good thing. But anyway, go on with the day. Literally within 5 minutes after I gave the speech, I realized like people are making and printing posters. There's like posters around the school and in the bathrooms and on the walls with my face on it. And it says like justice for Weston and all that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. That within 5 minutes, And it's just this great tide, that's unstoppable tide. Anyway, I think I'm the unstoppable force. That one teacher who didn't let me run is the immovable object. That's what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Anyway, I don't think there's much else to add to the story other than, yeah, it was kind of wild. I had seniors and juniors on my side who were talking to me about it. I had sophomores and freshmen and all these people who were like, that's absolutely crazy. And I eventually, they was throwing, eventually Wyatt, I'm not going to say his last name. But anyway, he won. And I have a lot of respect for him. And he told me, Weston, I'm going to live through your ideals. I'm not even kidding. He told me that. He told me I was going to go through with my ideals. So that's a W. I'm just saying, all of the people I didn't want to win didn't win. It doesn't matter if they were running for vice president or Senate. I don't remember what the positions are. No one that I didn't want to win. I worded that right. No one that I didn't want to win won. So, in the end, I still won. Anyway, just to wrap up this video, I want to read out the speech that I gave. Its original title was The Establishment of the Noble House of Establishment of the Noble House of the school that I go to. Anyway, doesn't matter. So I was like, the establishment of the noble house of the school that I go to speech. But I changed it to the establishment of the parliament of the school that I go to. Because people were saying that sounds too monarchical. I don't really care that much. But anyway, here's my speech that I gave. Good afternoon, school that I go to. As many of you know, my bid to run as class president was unfortunately rejected by teacher that owned student council, which was, of course, a huge misstep on her part. I turned in everything that was needed, both the papers and the online form, and yet I was still not allowed to run for class president. Curious. This injustice will not be overlooked. This is unfair. This is a miscalculation. And the will of the people have made it obvious that I would have won if it weren't for the outside forces at play here. A certain individual who was not even involved in the voting process ruled against me. This obviously goes entirely against the supposed democracy of the student council. In response to the corruption within the student council, we find it necessary to create a new government for the good people of school that I go to that is entirely controlled by the students. We will be calling this the Parliament of school that I go to, and I will be the first Prime Minister. We will have a body of elected and appointed students to represent all classes of school that I go to ensure that the needs of the students are met. For as long as this unjust system called the student council exists, the fight is not over and it will never be over. This is for the people of school that I go to. Thank you. And that was it. I don't know what else to add to that. That was a whole speech. And yeah. I have a printed out version of that somewhere, and I have no idea where it was. I want to frame it somewhere, but I don't know what happened to it. I want to thank all of you for listening to this. This is somehow one of my longest videos. It's about 15 minutes, almost 15 minutes. But anyway, if you enjoyed my ramblings and my frequent coughing and how disorganized this video is. I just want to thank you for watching, and I hope you like and subscribe. I am currently working on a video on King James VI and I, as well as a video on Plato versus Aristotle, because someone explicitly asked me to do that, and I've already got the script done for another video. And my next West African Wednesday video is coming out next Wednesday. Not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. I'm doing every other Wednesday. So, thank you for watching, and goodbye.